Well, hello there folks, welcome to today's video, and it's all about my two phrases to use when training and presenting. Now, there's lots of phrases we can use when training, presenting, workshop facilitating, but these are definitely two of my absolute favorites. You probably want to grab a pen and write this down. So the first phrase is, folks, grab a pen and write this down. Yes, that's the phrase, folks. The first one is grab a pen and write this down. The reason I love this phrase is it creates immediate action and reaction in an audience. And ideally, you want to be saying this phrase within the first 3 to 5 minutes of you standing up and presenting or delivering. The reason is that essentially the more action you can get your audience taking, and the faster you can get them taking action, the more momentum you're going to create through your delivery. The other thing is it's kind of a highlighter, and when you say grab a pen and write this down, it's essentially telling your audience what you want them to remember and the really important things that matter the most as you deliver, right? Throughout your delivery, there's going to be 1,000 sound bites, but this grab a pen and write this down, and it's going to be a pattern interrupt, and it's also going to make your audience sort of sit on the edge of their seat wondering what are the important bits and what do they really need to take away, right? So the first one, grab a pen and write this down. The second one is essentially, would you agree that? Would you agree that? All right, so would you agree that as a trainer and presenter, people can occasionally get nervous before they present? Raise your hand if you'd agree with that, right? Or would you agree that to be an inspiring leader, you have to connect at the heart level? Would you agree with that? Raise your hand if you'd agree with that, right? Or would you agree that, and drop a yes in the chat box if you would agree with that, right? So you can do various reactions, responses, but the critical question is, would you agree that, right? And this is a great way to build agreement throughout the entire room so that everybody's sort of on the same page and following along on the thought process, right? It allows you to shift and shape people's minds and influence them by getting agreement first, then building rapport, then influence, and then ultimate change, right? So the phrase is, would you agree that? Now, you can also add extra layers to it, such as, would you agree that some people may say, or some people may think? Okay, so would you agree that there are some amazing trainers and presenters out there that can truly inspire an audience? Would you agree with that? Would you agree that unfortunately though, there are some trainers out there that still do death by PowerPoint and consciously or unconsciously put their audience to sleep? Would you agree with that? Awesome. So you'd probably all agree that being able to be a powerful and engaging trainer is a great skill to have. Would you agree with that? Awesome, right? So folks, those were just two simple phrases I absolutely love to use whenever I train and present, and I highly encourage you to as well. So the first one, grab a pen and write this down. The second one is, would you agree that? Now, when I train and present, there's probably about coming up to 22 phrases I use quite regularly, and I do have an entire segment in my book about phrases. I have phrases for online delivery and also face-to-face as well. So you may be interested in those, but essentially phrases are where it's at, and you've got to have tools in your toolkit to be able to really touch, move, and inspire and uplift your audience and shape their thoughts in the right way. And just like every occupation, we all have our language that we use. You know, plumbers have their language, carpenters have their language, teachers and trainers, we have our language as well. Unfortunately though, many trainers are unaware of what phrases you can actually use to actually open the minds of your audience and actually get the message across. On that note, folks, hope you got some value from this video. Like, comment, share. Let's get the message out there. And my name is Mark Miles, helping you become the best trainer, presenter, workshop facilitator you truly can be. And have an amazing day. Bye for now.